people nowadays say, I have no time. Of course you don't. Because you are not aware of the present. You know, the present is represented on your watch by a hairline that is as thin as possible, as is consistent with visibility. And so everybody thinks the present is instead of
Welcome. We're back. Another day in the market. Bitcoin is, like $700 away from all-time high. It's like 1% away from all-time highs right now, which is super cool. If it gets closer to all-time highs, we're probably just going to stop whatever we're doing and just go on like the 1 minute chart and just watch it. But I have an alert set up at the previous all-time high to the cent on Coinbase. And yeah, really cool stuff for Bitcoin. Okay, it was the most previous alert was at 43K. 43K had already hit both targets for a 36% gain. Then after it hit the second target, we talked about, do you remember we talked about this? I think on Monday, Tuesday, maybe on Sunday. Yeah, on Sunday night stream, we talked about this, the break, the hook, and then the go, right? So we're seeing a break, hook, and go right now on the daily for Bitcoin over this 59.5K resistance from this high, and this high. And boom, there really wasn't much of an edge on lower time frames yesterday, at least from what I saw, but there you go. It's only 1% away from all-time highs. I would love to be live if it hits a new all-time high. I don't know, because obviously this is going to be an area where it's pretty much your last resistance. That's what Bitcoin's at right now. It's at the final front. I don't even know that's the right way to use that phrase, but like that's your last line of defense. I'm gonna stop using military terms, but yeah, it's there, right? That's all you got left, and it's 1% under it. So if it hits or even tests the all-time high tonight, that would be really cool to see. So yeah, I mean, this is why we start off every single stream talking about Bitcoin. Thank you for a subscription. We had the alert at 43K, but even down at 30K, we were talking about the falling wedge. There was classic bullish divergence. Like there was so much stuff down over here that we were talking about as well back in July, and it's pretty much doubled since then. So really good stuff on Bitcoin. Yeah, we'll come back to it if there's a nice move in the next hour or so. What else? Oh yeah, the UMA trade hit the first target, almost the second target. It's just kind of showing resistance at the 200-day moving average. So yeah, like 38% profit on the UMA crypto trade in probably a few weeks. Right now it's pulling back to this 13.17 level. Kind of a little bit of a resistance. Would be interesting if it could hold it. But look at that volume on UMA today. Really good stuff for this crypto trade. And then the Dogecoin trade is still up like 5%. It was up 20% at one point yesterday. So hopefully it can just move back up. That's really it for Dogecoin. Yeah, we'll come back to Bitcoin if we need to. I might actually set another alert a little bit lower than the previous all-time high, just so we can know like ahead of time if it's getting close. I'll put it at like 64.8K pretty much. It'll be like $100 under previous all-time high. All right, so we'll know if something happens. But yeah, let's talk about stocks now. If you're new to the stream, subscribe. If you're not new to the stream, hit the like button. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Some updates on CLOV. It was yet another flat day, but you had some nice moves intraday that kind of helped out the technicals today. Fisker, I'm wearing the hat. I'm wearing the Fisker hat. Fisker broke out with confirmation. We're going to be talking about it. We'll also maybe talk about Square a little bit. I also want to give an update on Apple. So we'll talk about that. The IPS, one of the swings, had almost a 9% day today. We'll talk about NEO, which was up 1%. We'll see if it filled the gap or not. And yeah, we'll talk about everything. So right now, futures are flat yet again. It all started right over here. We talked about it as it was developing that right shoulder. We talked about this inverse head and shoulders, and it's been playing out beautifully. Honestly, playing out more than I expected, or at least quicker than I expected. That's probably the better way to put it. But yeah, futures, they were a little bit green. Now they're pulling back a little bit, but they're still just relatively flat. What are my thoughts on the overall market before we talk about CLOV and FSR and whatever else? So last night we were talking about the potential for a bearish cipher, which would have been at a 786 retrace from X to D on the S&P 500. We gapped above that level, so pretty much that got invalidated at the open. But the market was able to rally all the way up to pretty much the 886 now. Okay, so now you kind of are switching from a cipher or a potential cipher into a shark. So now you have a bearish shark on the S&P 500. This pattern is about a month and a half long, and it's pretty close to like a real pattern. I don't think the B point matters too much on a shark now. And then that 1.11 from A to C, you'd rather it be a 1.13 at least, but it's pretty close. You have multiple downside gaps to fill. I put out a tweet today. I can explain that a little bit further, but let's just look at the 1 hour on the S&P 500. Yeah, I mean, this is a bearish edge. I'm not trying to be a bear. I mean, I don't really care whether I'm a bear or a bull in the market, but this is a bearish edge on the 1 hour chart, okay? You're at a resistance, a small resistance, keep in mind, but you could see this 450.85 level on the SPY was a low over here, and even on this candle. That also is your 886, so you're at the PCZ of a bearish shark on the 1 hour. Again, you could see this pattern on the 4 hour, maybe even the daily as well. I'm just charting it on the 1 hour because that's where the other bearish variables are. Your RSI is pretty high on the 1 hour. It's at 84. You are overbought, and you have triple classic bearish divergence on the S&P 500. So 1 hour chart, if based on the technicals that I use, there's bearish signals. However, if you go over to the 4 hour, you're not yet, actually you are, you're slightly overbought. However, you can go higher on the RSI on the 4 hour, and then on the daily, you're not overbought yet. So look, higher time frames, they're not really overbought yet. And even if you really zoom out to the daily, your next resistance is just all-time highs. But again, if we go down to that 1 hour, that's a little bit different. And I'm going to admit for the first time, we've been talking about this every single night on stream from pretty much this low, which was a Monday, up until like the last couple of days. I mean, if you've been watching the stream, like I've literally been, I'm not going to say calling every move, but I've been giving you probabilities for every single move that's happened really since September 20th, like perfectly every single night on stream. However, I will say that streak is kind of broken over the last couple of days. I did switch over. I was bullish over here. Then over here, I kind of got bearish. And I'm being surprised. I'm wrong. I'm wrong for the first time since, I'd say, the 20th on the market. I did think the market would pull back either yesterday or today, and it went up yesterday and today. So, yeah, it's just you still have the same bearish technicals we were talking about on Sunday night. They just haven't played out. You're just going higher and higher. So, and again, I'm only talking about 1 hour time frames, but you haven't even had like a 1 hour pullback. So, yeah, I still have the same exact opinion on the market. I still think like this chart looks like it's time to pull back. But again, I have been saying that for 2 days now. So, we'll see if I just continue to be amazed every single day. But I don't know. It's surprising to me for sure. Off of the low, and again, I was so bullish on the market right over here at the beginning of last week. And look what happened after. I just didn't think that we'd have this much of a rally this quickly. But from the low to this high, we're up 4.5%. We're almost up 5%. So very, very big move. In terms of my thoughts, they're kind of the same, although like I said like 3 times, again, I love admitting when I'm right, but I also love admitting when I'm wrong, just so you all can learn from, I'm not going to say my mistakes, but just technicals not always being certainty. I still have the same opinion. I still think that the market looks like there's variables to pull back, but we'll see. Right now it's just soaring higher every single day. Like there isn't anything as a red candle that's even a possibility. That's what it looks like on the daily, but we always know gravity is real in the market. Things will get pulled down, just a question of when, how much. So I mean, going into tomorrow, if we gap up again on the SPY, you might just invalidate the shark. If you invalidate the bear shark, then probably you're going to retest all-time highs. If we don't gap up tomorrow, and again, I'm only saying that because we've gapped up for like the last however many days, apart from one day. We don't gap up and we open flat or even gap down, then I'm probably not going to be looking to to be buying any sort of dip tomorrow. Friday, I'll have to see what things look like. You just gotta remember, we just rallied a lot. So right now I'm just kind of, I'm testing the waters with puts on the market. I did lose some money on QQQ puts today. I did take my loss on that. But I'm not like, you know, super eager to go fully short, because even if we do pull back, I don't know. I still think we'll see a new all-time high by the end of the year. So like, I'm still looking to maybe try and make some profit off of a short-term pullback in the market, but I'm not like, you know, putting my whole entire portfolio in and trying to act like Michael Burry here. I'm not super bearish. I just see bearish technicals on low time frames. Like I saw bullish technicals on low time frames down at these areas, which we talked about and which did play out. But Mitch Ray talks about this all the time. You know, bearish technicals can underperform or just get invalidated in overly whelming bullish conditions. And that's what you've pretty much seen for the last, I'd say, this week in general. And again, remember, everything I'm talking about here is low time frames. Higher time frames, it's kind of 50-50. There's not really bearish or bullish variables. I mean, obviously the trend is still bullish. And that's my thoughts on the SPY. Pretty much the same thing for the NASDAQ. I haven't looked too much into the NASDAQ lately. I've just been focusing on the SPY. But I don't know, maybe a little bit of resistance here around 15.1 or 15,165 for the NASDAQ from this open, this close, or this open, this close, and this close. I'll keep that charted. So yeah, I you know, overall, I still think your low time frames are kind of signaling pullback, but they're just not playing out for right now. So again, just because you're getting a signal does not mean that's what is going to happen for sure, but my thesis hasn't changed. It's just kind of being delayed. And again, I don't want to be here for the next 2 months saying we're going to pull back, and we're just at like 500 on the SPY or something. But historically, when your RSI gets to this level on the 1 hour, you see pullback within a few days. I mean, even if we look at the QQQ on the 1 hour, the last time that the 1 hour RSI was this high on the QQQ was October of 2020, and we had a 10% pullback. I don't think we're going to get a 10% pullback off of this high, at least for right now. I don't know if things change, but I'm just looking for reaction pullbacks. I think we'd want to see a healthy pullback after a 5% rally in a week, or a week or two. So I'm looking for a healthy pullback that maybe I profit off of, maybe I don't. But I am like very short-term bearish on the market. Long-term, I'm still a bull. It's still a bull market. I'm just kind of, you know, giving some short-term analysis. But yeah, if market just keeps doing what it's doing, I mean, I've been surprised for the past few days. I'm going to probably stop getting surprised at this point, because it's just, that's what it's doing for right now. So we'll see. Again, I'm not trying to freak anybody out. We're talking about 1 hour charts here. They can play out within 1 day. So, you know, you could go from 1 hour classic bearish divergence, which you have on the SPY and the QQQ, and then that can develop into 1 hour hidden bullish divergence, which will potentially continue you even higher. So it's like, I'm talking about very short-term stuff. I'm just sitting here, and again, I'd say like 80% of the time I like to be a bull. And what do I mean by that? I'm not always, you know, me being a bull or a bear on the market just completely depends on the variables, right? So I can't put a percentage on that. But in terms of what I prefer, I prefer doing calls and going long to doing puts. I don't short like actual shares, but if I see an opportunity to make money on puts, I'll do it. But I always prefer calls. I don't know, it just feels better to me. I'm just more used to it, I guess. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the overall market. ARK ETF, for all of you mid-cap traders, just floating higher. Another highest candle close since like beginning of September. There are multiple gaps to fill on pretty much all the indices from the past few days to the downside. And then finally, the IWM, still just kind of testing the top of this triangle for all of you small cap traders. So that's my thoughts on the market right now. I did share this in the Discord earlier, and I know Cheddar Freeze just brought up in the chat. The 10-year bonds are actually breaking over an interesting level. This 1.64 level, sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but this level was a low from 2015. That's actually being broken above. And then finally, the VIX, volatility index, lowest close since the beginning of August for the volatility index, after it pretty much having its highest close just a few weeks ago. Barasan with the $5 tip says, thanks for the UMA trade. There we go. Yeah, it was a very nice one. The OXT trade as well. Some people did thank me for it. Some people did thank me for this one. Again, it was a monster. It's just literally 2 days before. There's rules on the sheet, and I had to mark it as a break even because of the rules on the sheet. But I don't know if I said it or not, but in general, just because I put something as a break even on the sheet, or even a stop, or even a target, you always do whatever you want. The variables, and I said this on stream when we talked about OXT, variables never change. It just I have to follow rules on the sheet no matter how I feel about technicals on the chart. So, you know, it could be very consistent and just kind of like a robot. But yeah, I mean, the crypto trades have been doing well for the most part. And yeah, thank you very much for the $5 tip. Let's get some vibes in the chat for the first tip of the night. Honestly, the first tip in days, I think. Yeah, last tip was 6 days ago. So thank you for the first tip in like a week. Appreciate it. Vibes in the chat. So yeah, it's my thoughts on crypto in the market. We can talk about some individual stocks now. CLOV and FSR first. We'll start off with CLOV. Damn, I'm gonna need 40 likes on the stream though. All right, let's see if we can get to 40 likes. We got 54 people in here. We could talk about ROKU while I'm going over everything else as well. It was kind of flat today, but I had a nice move in the morning, I think. Before we do it, let me just see what's in the chat, and then we'll talk about CLOV. See, we're already at 42 likes. Bitcoin's kind of at the same price, 64.1K. Been waiting for this stream all day. Wanted to ask for your thoughts on the 2 back-to-back doji candles on the daily chart of CLOV. We're going to be talking about CLOV next, so I'll answer that then. Also glad to hear you were looking forward to the stream. DB says I have AMD puts expiring Friday, down 60% currently. We'll look at that too when I'm looking at different stuff. I'm kind of looking for some options trades in the next couple of days, so I'll add that to my watch list. But we're going to talk about CLOV and FSR first. Then I'll talk about Apple, Square, AMD, Roku. Then we'll talk about the ongoing trades. Even though FSR is one of them, I want to cover FSR first. And then I don't know if we're going to do take requests tonight. I've been up since 8 a.m. I don't know. And I know I've been saying that a lot. I know I've been doing much less taker requests than normal in the past couple of weeks. I've just been a lot busier than normal. DB, for harmonic patterns, the best resource is the course. There's a video about harmonics in the course, links in the description. It's only $5,000 for you to watch, 3.5-hour course. I'm joking. I don't know. Some people might have just like unsubscribed if they were new subscribers. The course is free. The link's in the description. It's not $5,000. Everything is there. What else is in the chat? Medi's playing VIX calls. Hello Against has randomly found this channel, kind of vibing right now. I think maybe for once YouTube helped out the stream a little bit tonight. YouTube never puts me in their algorithm while I'm live. Sometimes they share my videos after I'm live in the algorithm, but while I'm live, it's only happened a few times. So it's really, I can't really say this every single stream, but it's really cool to see like people who haven't watched the stream before finding the stream while I'm live. Does that make sense? Because most people who find the stream are either through Twitter or through YouTube YouTube sharing the replay, not the actual live stream, from what I've seen on the analytics. So that's cool to see. Yeah, if anybody else here is new here, welcome to the free trading movement. I stream Sunday to Thursday at 9 p.m. EST. There's a free Discord in the description. There's a free course in the description. Yeah. DB says, I was your second one-on-one student ever right before you started your Discord channel. That's crazy. Still have my number. I think I know who you are. I don't want to say your name, but I'm 99% sure I know who you are now. I just didn't recognize that name in the YouTube chat. Yeah, I know who you are actually. 100%. We could look at Wish as well. It had a nice little move. If you're fine with me saying your name, I'd like to see if I'm correct, and I'll say your name. Well, let's talk about CLOV first, okay? So you had 2 doji candles in a row on the daily. Not much of any signal there. That's really it. On the daily, you don't have any difference. MACD looks the same, RSI looks the same, price looks the same, candles look the same. Another day that it did close above 785, which is good. So I would like to see it just continue to close above 785. The 4 hour does look a little bit different. DB says go for it. Dan, I'm pretty sure Dan is your name. Let me know if I'm right. CLOV on the 4 hour, MACD is losing positive momentum, unfortunately. And it's not too far away from going to red. However, you don't have bearish divergence. So the price has been going down. The MACD's lagging indicator and it's following the price. Finally, you have something I could kind of talk about from today, which was a bullish hammer / bullish pin bar candle. Pretty much your first variable you've gotten above the 1 hour time frame in days. You just really haven't had any variables on the daily and the 4 hour. That's why we haven't been really talking about CLOV much. And still, there aren't a crazy amount of variables. Like, remember, I was talking about CLOV for probably half an hour down over here on the streams, because there were a ton of variables, divergence and harmonics and triple bottoms, and just so much cool stuff down over here in terms of variables on the chart. Then we had a nice run because of those variables, and also that got elevated by the CMS star stuff. Then we had another move up from some Walgreens PR, and you just kind of, bullish variables played out. Now you're just kind of reassessing what the situation is. Is it time to pull back? Is it time to consolidate and just keep going sideways? Have we reset all the oscillators? Is it time to go back up? It's just, there needs to be more data on higher time frames to get a good edge apart from just levels, and you're still just in between levels. You're in between the 820 resistance and the 770 support, and then if you break 770, then you got 756. Like, yeah. 4 hour inverse head and shoulders still potentially looks the same, a little bit better, maybe because you retested the neckline today, and we've been talking about the 812 level. That was pretty much your high of the day on CLOV. And then 1 hour chart, you're still just in this range. I think I shared this on Twitter. You ended up closing the day, I think, on a 1 hour bearish engulfing candle. 1 hour candles don't really mean much, going into the next day most of the time. Sometimes when they're like hammer candles, I like to see that, but we'll see. And 30-minute, however, it did break out of a little bit of this wedge / channel, whatever you want to call it. Had a nice pop as soon as it broke out of it with triple classic bullish divergence. I shared this with premium members during the day. I didn't trade. I don't know if anybody else did. I just was too busy to trade it, but there were some nice technicals. You had a bullish hammer off the low of the day with triple classic bullish divergence. Just for people who aren't in premium, like, those are the types of things I typically look for when I talk about how much we day trade CLOV. And I think it's like, I forgot the stat already. I just rechecked it like 3 or 4 days ago. But we've had a really good time trading CLOV calls in the last few months, despite the horrible trend. We've just been playing short-term pivots. And these are the types of things to look for. Just very simple. You got a hammer and a channel with divergence on low time frames, and it played out. I would have traded this today. I was just too busy at the time. I think I already said that. But yeah, that's really it for CLOV. I don't think there was much of an options change. Nice final hour for volume. Pretty much your high of the day in terms of volume was, actually, that wasn't even today. That's the 14th. So pretty much it was at the close. It wasn't even at the open. And that's CLOV. If it can break above 820 in the next few days, that would be amazing. If not, it could retest 756. I don't know what's next, but those are your different variables. And yeah, I just need more variables on the 4 hour and daily to get a more solid opinion for the short term. Fisker though. Fisker is probably my favorite chart right now. I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, it's mainly what I'm talking about right now. Champ's a man. Yeah, I got the name right. Hit me up when you are back in Miami. FTM meetup. I'd love to. I want to wait to do a meetup though until we have like 5,000 or 6,000 Discord members. And I've already talked about it in the chat, but I want to do a meetup in Vegas when I'm 21. All right, well, let's talk about Fisker. Thank you for the 50 likes. If you're enjoying the stream, I'm glad to hear that. Bitcoin is back under 64K by like $50. It's pretty much still the same price. If it moves, we'll talk about it. Fisker, I'm wearing the hat, and I've been talking about it a lot. I mean, you could kind of tell I'm looking at Fisker a lot. I mean, just look at how many alerts I have set up, like right next to where the price is. So Fisker's been my main focus this week. CLOV, I mean, it just really hasn't moved much. It's just on low volume. So Fisker is one that's kind of showing me variables like short term. So we'll kind of break it down time frame by time frame. Daily hidden bullish divergence, we already talked about that. Nothing really new. The bullish Gartley potential higher low after the PCZ, we talked about that already. However, we confirmed the breakout today on Fisker. Last night's stream was Fisker breakout question mark, because I wasn't sure if it was actually breaking out yet. Today, Fisker did break out. Fisker confirmed a breakout today. Highest candle close since October 1st. And you closed above 1450. Which is that huge level from January that we traded off of. It's the candle low from June 3rd, candle low from July 19th, and then it was resistance at the end of August. And it was resistance for the last 4 days, and today you broke above that level. Right at the open, it had like a 2 or 3% move, which was very nice, and then it kind of pulled all the way back. Like, we could look at on the 5-minute. This was pretty much the open for Fisker today. Just shot right up, and then it came right back down to the same exact level. Like I said, immediately filled the gap, and then it just kind of ran back up about 70% of the way, and it just went sideways the rest of the day. But the fact that it went sideways is very good, and I'm going to explain that a little bit further when we get to the 1-hour chart. First, let's look at the 4-hour chart. Not only did you break out of the 1450 level, you also broke out of this triangle pattern, okay? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. Real triangle pattern. You broke out of it on the first 4-hour candle today. So you broke out of a huge ice line on the daily. You broke out of a triangle pattern. You have hidden bullish divergence on the daily and the 4-hour. And on the 1-hour, you broke out of an ascending triangle. I think I showed this to all of you last night on stream. You broke out of this ascending triangle today on the 1-hour. And look what happened. I was just talking about it. Just went sideways. But that's not a bad thing, because what was it doing? Pretty much after it had the breakout candle at 11:30, it just was in a range between 1460 and 1475. But on every single candle, what was it doing? It was back testing the breakout. That's what you want to see when you break out. Okay, you're flipping your previous resistance area into a support. And yeah, I mean, I guess you do have some 1-hour classic bearish divergence. That's probably the only bearish variable I could potentially see on Fisker right now. And then tomorrow, I believe at 3 p.m. EST, Henrik Fisker is going to have like a live stream talking about the Fisker Ocean and some other stuff. So yeah, Fisker. Daily breakout of an ice line, 4-hour breakout of a triangle, just a symmetrical triangle, 1-hour breakout of an ascending triangle with a back test throughout the whole entire day, 4-hour and daily hidden bullish divergence, but 1-hour classic bearish divergence. So those are your variables on Fisker. That's what I'm mainly watching this week, and we'll see. All right. So that was Fisker. What else should we talk about next? I think I'm gonna just quickly recap the ongoing trades, and then I'll talk about some other featured tickers, just so we can kind of have it organized for the timestamps. VIPS, I think this was alerted like a week ago or something. It's currently up 9% since the entry. The daily's looking pretty good, but it's really the weekly that I'm paying attention to right now. If you're a new viewer in the stream and you're getting confused by all these things I'm saying, watch the free course in the description. But there you go. It hit the PCZ of a bullish shark on the weekly. It's been in this pattern since 2019. Potential bullish engulfing candle on the weekly if it holds up the gains. Close to getting a MACD crossover on the weekly. Double bottomed on the RSI on the weekly. And all of that took place at the PCZ of a harmonic, but also at an ice line, where this thing tripled bottomed off of in 2016. So good stuff for VIPS. It's doing what I hoped it could do with the technicals, but hopefully a lot more. Because if you zoom out, like, this is like literally nothing compared to what the actual pattern is. Even the targets are kind of literally nothing compared to the actual pattern. Like, textbook targets would be 34 and 46 if you're just playing the harmonic. But I don't know, the second target still is a 66% gain. So good stuff on VIPS. Neo, let's see. Look what happened. We talked about this last night on stream. Next level. It went to the next level. It pulled back at the next level. It went up to this mid $40 level, which was a gap fill, and also an ice line from this candle low, this candle low, this candle low, this candle high, this candle low. It went up to the next level. It tested it, pulled back maybe 1% off of it. Good stuff. The Neo trade is up 12% since the entry. If it can break above 40.62, then there's no resistance until the first target. Hopefully it can do that. But yeah, it just went to the next level of resistance and pulled back. Apart from that, PBR and Trip did pull back a little bit today. PBR is now in the negative, and unfortunately never cleared 1130. We've been talking about this. Now there's a potential for hidden bearish divergence on the daily. So it closed kind of on the previous supply line. If it doesn't bounce off of this, then you got the 200-day moving average. If it doesn't bounce off that, then it hits the stop. So pretty much what you have left is a supply line and then the 200-day moving average if that breaks as well. Trip, it looked like it was breaking out just like Neo was, and it just came right back down to this level it's been at for the past like almost 2 months at this point. So hopefully it can just quickly bounce off of it and get away from this level, but that's just what it's testing right now. That's your ongoing trades. That's your recap and update. I want to talk about a few other things that I've brought up the last few nights on stream. First off, Apple. We talked about this on Sunday night stream and on Monday night stream. If you watch the stream, you got the heads up on Apple. Okay. I pretty much said above 145, it has room to 149. That's what I said, pretty much. 149, 150. Still has room to 150. There you go. You broke a very good level. They had a good event yesterday. And you're moving higher. It was literally that simple on Apple. Like, it wasn't hard to figure it out. I mean, in hindsight, maybe you could kind of chart like an inverse head and shoulders, but look, you broke one level, you're going to the next level. Good stuff on Apple. Another one we talked about last night was Square. Look what it did on the 4 hour. It broke out of this ascending triangle that we talked about, back tested the breakout, and then went even higher and filled the gap that we talked about last night on the stream. If you trade options, that could have been a nice pivot today for you. And also on the daily, I mean, Square broke above 251, this huge level on the daily, and also broke below the supply line with classic bullish divergence. So Square is still on my watch list. Another one, we talked about this, I think, on Monday night stream. This was pretty much, at this point, it was a 200% profit at the high of the day today, I think. Actually, it went all the way up to 350, so I don't even think I caught the high of the day when I shared that with premium members. But yeah, I mean, maybe even over 200% profit for premium members on this one. Good stuff. I don't really want to update. There's not much to update here on Roku. We already I broke down the chart last night. But look, it did use 330 or 340 as support. I don't know if I brought that up last night, but that's really impressive that it used this level as support. It was a high from September 23rd and a low from August 19th. This was actually a level I was looking at as a take profit level initially on the trade, and actually did have like a 2% pullback off the level, or a $2 pullback off the level, like right here you could see. That was at a 1% pullback off the level, and then it broke it eventually. Good stuff on Roku. Wish had a good spike today. It actually had its highest daily candle close since October 1st. We talked about this last night. However, all I really said was, yeah, it broke out of a wedge, but it's not really doing much. And today it did much. I mean, it had a 6% day. It was up even higher at one point. And next resistance is 623 on Wish. Your support is like 489. Not bad. This is not literally an abandoned baby candle pattern, but it's not too far from one. I mean, if you really zoom in, I don't know if the whole entire candle wick has to be under these candle bodies, but you did have a gap down doji candle, then gap up after the doji candle. So I don't know if you can classify that as an abandoned baby or not, but the psychology is very similar. And good volume, highest volume on Wish today since October 4th on lower time frames. As long as it can just hold above this area. I mean, it even tried to back test at the close. If Wish could have a break hook and go off this level, that would be amazing. So a green day for Wish would help out the technicals a lot, obviously. But that's another one. And then AMD, somebody asked about it, said that they're down a lot on puts right now. I mean, this was another premium trade from last week. This AMD calls was alerted to premium members like right over here. Let me make that like a green box, like literally right here. Look at what happened since then. 1 hour cup and handle with hidden bullish divergence. And then boom, just insane. And now it's going crazy. In terms of variables, you got some 1 hour classic bearish divergence on AMD at this point after the crazy run. In terms of levels, support on AMD is 114.55 from this high and this low. Resistance, I think you have a 1 hour gap fill at 118.4, and then after that's just your previous all-time high at 122.5 on AMD. It's been really doing well. That's the easiest way to put it. And daily RSI is pretty close to being overbought, but not literally overbought right now on Wish. I mean, on AMD. I was confused there. So we talked about CLOV, Fisker. Yeah, we talked about pretty much everything I wanted to cover. Bitcoin's pulling back a little bit. Unfortunately, I'd love to be live with Bitcoin hitting an all-time high. That would be the coolest thing in the world. Fortunately, though, it got about $400 away from an all-time high, I think. I could tell you right now. Yeah, like $400 away pretty much got, and now it's pulled back about 1%. We'll see. Yeah, keep hitting the like button if you didn't already. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel if you want to learn about technical analysis and stocks and cryptos. Winter Glenn says if you go to Vegas, you know I'll sit some blackjack tables with you. Yeah, I've never gambled, but I played fake blackjack and I enjoyed it. Hang Seng Index broke out of the wedge, impulsing off the harmonic. Look at this. Seriously, we talked about this as it was happening. You double bottomed at the PCZ of a bullish bat on the Hang Seng Index, right? So people saying technicals are fake and whatnot, despite all the concerns with the whole entire market of China, you had a textbook bullish reversal pattern. You double bottomed at the PCZ of a bullish bat, and since doing that, the Hang Seng Index is up almost pretty much 10%. And you can't just say, oh, I'm only bringing this up now. No, we talked about this for weeks down at these levels. And not only was that a PCZ, it was a nice line as well. I mean, it's just so cool to see. Literally, like a technical pattern, okay, a thing that's technically not even real unless you chart it, reverse a whole entire nation's market, at least for 10%. I don't know if it's going to keep going or not, but that's just the craziest thing in the world to me. Despite all the chaos going on everywhere, it's crazy. I mean, look up this pattern on Google, and there you go. Like 2 triangles and 2 bounces, and boom, 10% higher despite everything. That's just crazy. I don't know. Evergrande's not really moving. I don't know if they halted or if it's still halted. And Amazon was another one we talked about. I think on Sunday night I looked at the chart by like accident, but look at that. Pretty much like a dragon pattern. Broke the supply line. Next resistance on Amazon is 35.50. From this high and this high and this high. And support I'd say is probably like 3,300, around your 200-day moving average, and the open from Friday. But yeah, it did break out of that supply line. MACD went over to green. But earnings are on the 28th. And I think Tesla has earnings tomorrow. And Netflix had earnings today. And boom, it happened. We talked about this. This is another one we talked about. I mean, for everybody who's watching the streams, like, we talked about all of this stuff. I know there wasn't like a swing alert on it and whatnot, but once Tesla broke 780, which was the candle high from April 14th and the candle low from January 29th, I pretty much said, I mean, your next level is 878. Despite the classic bearish divergence, which I also did bring up on the stream because it was real, you went from one level to the next one, and look where Tesla had a 2% pullback off of. The level I've had charted for probably months at this point. It's just so cool to see how fake technicals are. It always amazes me. Again, they're not cheat codes. They're not playing out 100% of the time, but they just give you an edge. And why are you trading if you don't have an edge? It doesn't even have to be technicals. You need to at least have a fundamental edge if you're not playing technicals. Like, there you go. Just so cool to see all these different things playing out. Futures still flat. Bitcoin's still around the same price. UMA is pulling back pretty. I think it was already pulling back, but kind of breaking under this level now. Already hit the target though, so I mean, how far was it from the second target, which would have been a 56% gain? It was only 2% away from that. Maybe should have made that at the 200-day moving average. I think I went for like the C point on the harmonic as the second target. Yeah, TLRY was another one that popped today. It was cool. I mean, TLRY popped, and then a little bit later, Wish popped, and then a little bit after that, CLOV popped, and then a little bit after that, FSR had a mini pop. By mini, I mean like a 1% pop. And TLRY broke out of a wedge, confirmed classic bullish divergence on the daily, highest volume since the end of July. I don't know if there was a catalyst. It was Wall Street Bet's most mentioned stock on Tuesday with Wish, BABA, and SDC. 300% volume. Announced it had hired a former general manager for Bacardi to oversee its Canada operations. Recent public data shows that nearly 9% of TLRY's float is held by short interests. Yeah, so breakout today for TLRY out of this wedge, maybe because of some catalysts. Next resistance is 1276. And you engulfed like 20 days worth of selling off in one day. I'm sure the 1 hour RSI is like, yeah, all the way up though. What else did things today? BlackBerry's up 14% today. Pretty much just bottomed off that 960-ish level, which is a huge level. I mean, look, it was your high over here, your low over here, your high over here, your high over here, your high over here, and then your low over here. That's why you got to zoom out on your charts and look left. And now, I mean, if you really zoom out, remember the 4 hour, the harmonic? If we just take all this off the chart, you pretty much went down to the PCC, the bullish bat, and then you spent about 3 months just going sideways, and now you're kind of pivoting again. I don't even know if you can still call this a harmonic in play anymore, but yeah. Good stuff on BlackBerry today. AT&T has been selling off. This was never a trade, thankfully. AT&T, I don't know what's going on here. When are earnings? 21st? Is that Thursday? But AT&T is typically one of the slow. I mean, AT&T and Verizon. I think T-Mobile might move a little bit quicker, but AT&T and Verizon move like snails. I don't know. I'm just looking at random charts right now. BABA reversing. We talked about the wedge right when it broke out of it with classic bullish divergence. Boom, there you go. Back above 170 on BABA. Next resistance is 188. Let me see what's up in the chat. Keep hitting that like button if you didn't already. We just had a flat day. We talked about it last night. It went up to pretty much test this resistance area, the mid $30 area. Actually went up to pretty much 31. So I guess this might be a better resistance. I think this is what I initially had charted, then I moved it last night. Yeah, it tested a resistance here. Support on FUBO is like 28.75, and your resistance is like 31. You get above 31. Next resistance is like 33.68. All right. Yeah, I'm not really gonna be doing take requests tonight. I'll look at whatever's in the chat already because I just looked at FUBO, but I'm gonna do Palantir's last one probably. MUX is in the middle of a range. Support's like 107. Resistance is 122. You could maybe use this as support as well. Support's 102 and then resistance is 122. I can see that going either way. PROG, there's not really much I can do here. Those are your levels. it just went from 88 cents to $3. That's an amazing move. It hit the 200-day moving average. It pulled back a little bit. I don't really see a pattern of divergence, but those are your levels. Palantir is just testing the 200-day moving average. You got a MACD crossover to green on the daily. Breaks above the 200-day moving average, you could see a move back to 27.5. If it can't break above it, your support's 23. All right, actual last one, SDC. If it can hold this 540 low, I mean in general, if it can just hold these lows, right? This whole entire low area, your next resistance is 736. If you break them, really this whole entire area is what you want to like. Unfortunately, it's we're talking about a 13% area, so not the easiest to manage your risk. But as long as SDC, this is like your support zone, okay? If it can hold that, then you got 736 and then $9 after that. It just has to hold this zone. It already broke out of the wedge. And I think it has an interesting short interest. $37.5, so pretty interesting to say the least. Another thing I want to talk about, nobody wants to talk about this, but I'll talk about it. Hello, Fisker, 28% short interest. Who let this happen? I stopped talking about Fisker for a couple of months because there just wasn't many variables. Now all these variables start appearing, and in the duration of Fisker just kind of consolidating for a few months, it accumulates a 28% short. Who let this happen? I want to know who let this happen. But might not be a bad thing. That's what I'm gonna say. I think it's about to pop up in a second here. I don't know why it's not popping up. There we go. Dave Jazz with the $10 super chat says, thanks for doing what you're doing, much appreciated. I appreciate you, Dave. Thank you very much for the $10 tip. Let's get some vibes in the chat. For Dave, if you're still watching the stream, drop the word vibes in the chat. I don't know, I'm seeing like a little bit of lag. So yeah, vibes in the chat. Thank you very much for the $10 tip. I want to do something. Why? I'm getting like my Wi-Fi, it's like going from green to red to green. Can everybody see me fine? Am I lagging? Now it's not even loading stuff. I don't have any dropped frames, so I think we're still good. Look at all those vibes in the chat. Look at that. We got vibes coming in from Medi, Cuckoo Bird, Sunny, Max. I'm sorry if I mispronounced this. Malik, M-A-U-L-I-K, Mr. Robinson, Kane, K-A-W-N. Sorry, I know I mispronounced that. Dave is in the chat dropping vibes too. Charmin, you better pay me for these ads. Come on. How do I? All right, it's like that. Good. Nerve, Nate, Chetta, Vishal, Wi-Fi is dancing. Scrooge is in here. How you doing, Scrooge? What's up, Mike? How's everybody doing? Thank you for 62 likes. Oh yeah, I wanted to do something. All right, so me and Medi had a little bit of a discussion earlier today. Okay. I wanna see what everybody thinks. All right, I'm gonna put a poll in the chat right now. I'm gonna be using this as a poll. I know the poll's gonna say, oh, actually, never mind. I can actually make it custom. That's cool. All right, get ready for a poll. Okay. I just dropped a poll in the chat. I want everybody to answer this poll, okay? Did it work? All right. So I want you to think about both the actual stock and then also the actual product. And I know we're just assuming that NKLA actually can produce their truck here, okay? We're just assuming that they can produce their truck. Who knows? But which one do you think has more of a chance in 10 years of even still being a company, okay? Personally, I do not own any NKLA or Solo, okay? But I just want to know what all of you think. We got 9 votes. Solo is in the lead. I never thought I would see Solo winning a poll, but I guess it is. So here's my opinion on the matter, okay? Here's my opinion on the matter. All right, so we have 2 charts pulled up here. Honestly, they don't look too different. They have pretty similar. I mean, look at this. Look, they both went down together over here. They both went back up, then they both dipped together, and they both are kind of just going sideways since like August. I mean, they're kind of doing the same thing. So not too much of a technical difference. Honestly, if we're going to just be talking technicals, I'd say Solo has a cleaner chart right now because you do have a textbook harmonic, whereas NKLA, it's too perfect of a double top to have a textbook harmonic, and I don't think that's a 1.13 retrace. Actually might be. You can quickly find out. But I think your C point's going to be too high. Yeah, C point's too high, but apart from the C point, you do have an alternate bat, so they're really not too different. And you went to the 2.618 from BD, but I'm not really talking about technicals here. I'm just saying in general, okay? I don't know what either of their market caps are, and I'm not really like too concerned with their stocks right now. I mean, I don't trade either of them right now. I have traded both of them in the past. I'm pretty sure I've only traded 1 share of Solo in my life, which I did for like a meme. I bought like 1 share, I made like a 10% profit in like a day, and then I sold it the next day. But I did trade NKLA a lot last summer. It's actually one of my first like really good takers that like I made a lot of profits on. I never really, I got out of NKLA before it kind of crashed, so NKLA was really good to me. But like, here's my opinion on the 2 stocks, okay? It's very simple. It really is. And I know Solo won the poll. This is it. It's as simple as this, okay? And I'll explain a little bit further. So we're talking. Now, I just want you all to realize this, all right? So for the 61% of people that voted for Solo, this is all I have to say to you, okay? I don't need to sit here and look at their financial statistics and whatnot. This is all I have to do. That's it. This is my argument, okay? So this is the Solo. Let me go full screen here. This is the Solo that all of you are voting for. I just want you all to know that. And then this is the other option. Okay, that's all I'm saying, right? So we have NKLA, and then we have Solo. I'm just letting you all know. Okay, that's my argument. That's literally it. Now, keep in mind, this is a real vehicle. Like, it actually moves. Okay? I don't know what's up with this. I don't know if they're still pushing them down hills or what they've got going on now. If they have somebody with like a bicycle on the inside and it's just a frame around it, I don't know. That's a joke. Please don't sue me, NKLA. I'm just making fun of your past mistakes. But if, like, look at it this way. Trevor, I think, screwed up big time, and NKLA, they completely messed up in 2020. But Trevor's kind of out of the situation now. They're probably trying to rebuild their team. You can't ever say that there's a 0% chance of them getting somebody who's an actual leader of a company. And they already have good blueprints. Their idea is not bad. The execution was just horrible, right? So who knows? Maybe they 5, 6, 7 years down the road, maybe they get enough funding to actually produce what they want to produce. And then who knows? I don't know. I just want to bring that up. But none of that was financial advice. NKLA has been a horrible stock for a while now. Solo has been a horrible stock for a while now. Maybe they both see better days in the future. For right now, I'm just looking at a truck and an egg car. But yeah. And again, that's not to say that I like NKLA. I'm just trying to pick one of them. And I'm sure that's also for a lot of you who voted solo, that you're not trying to pick solo, you just had to pick one, right? I don't know, maybe. And again, if you're a huge solo fanboy in the chat, so I've had some arguments with some solo fanboys back in February and March, don't cancel me. You all tried to cancel me back in February and March. You couldn't cancel me, all right? So I don't like solo. I'll say it 1,000 times. Unfortunately, you can't cancel me for saying that. However, if solo ever gets above, all right, let's do a challenge here, okay? Again, if you are in solo, I hope that you make money. I'm not trying to spread FUD or whatever. I really hope it goes up and you make money. For me personally, if solo ever, I'm gonna regret this, I feel like, I don't know. All right, if solo ever gets above, somebody remind me, if solo ever gets above $17, again, I will, all right, so it's the egg car. All right, if solo ever gets above $16, I will egg myself on stream. I'll get an egg and I'll throw it at my own face on stream if it ever gets back above 16. Remember that. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, so there you go. There's my, if you want to prove me wrong, you want to see me egg myself in the face, hope that it gets above that price. Otherwise, I'll say whatever I want to say. Only one egg, we'll figure it out if it gets there. KTF says NKLA truck is just my wallpaper, solo is a lifestyle. Alright, so and that's gonna be it for the stream. Still a lot of people in here, which is super cool to see. But yeah, it was a good stream. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'll be live again tomorrow night at 9 p.m. EST. If you're not on the Discord, you're just missing out. There's a bunch of education, swing alerts and crypto alerts. Neither of those are financial advice, they're just charts. There's paid bots you can get in the Discord for free. 2,000 traders, over 2,000 traders you can meet. Cool games, music channels, just news spots so you can get news. Like there's just so much stuff. Just join the Discord, it's free, links in the description. I'll see you there. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. EST. Hit the like button if you didn't already. Let's try and get the stream to 70 likes before it ends. And fortunately, Bitcoin was not able to hit all-time highs during the stream, but I don't know, maybe we'll get lucky tomorrow night. So have a good night, everybody, and peace out.
Position here at once. I've got to get away. No, all I understand is that it's better to be hurt a little bit now than a lot later on.
Why, Mrs. Woodland, what's the matter?
I just remembered.
What? Speak up, child.
It was nothing at all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait, please don't say that. Those days we had together, let's not forget them. Glorious days, and we'll have them all over again. I know we will.
Yes, we will.